Okay, so this is the brief review of the syllabus for Soc 302 Research Methods, Spring 2018. Okay, so instructor, that's me. All right. For the class, since we don't meet in person, I do have physical office hours at Cal State Fullerton if you are close to campus and that's something that you want to utilize. Great, that's totally fine with me. My office hours are Tuesdays, 4 to 6 in person in College Park, 927. So email me if you want to do that. Totally fine with me. Otherwise, I have an office hour just for your class, right? It's a virtual office hour on Zoom. So basically, there's a link on Titanium. So I'll have office hours on Thursdays, 4 to 5. So if you connect to Zoom at that time, you can talk, you can ask me questions about stuff, all that fun stuff. So yeah, that'll be there every week for you guys. This is my email, and in the email, as far as contact me through email, I have a bunch of anal retentive qualifications for that later on in the syllabus. We'll get to that soon. All right, and then textbooks required. Both of these guys. Process of social research is kind of new, so that's a pain. It's harder to get editions that are cheaper. They do have a cheaper ebook edition if you're cool with reading it through that way. And the Give Methods a Chance book is pretty cheap because it's pretty small. It's just like a little additional thing. And really what it is very short chapters, like 2 or 3 page chapters that I hope you will read that go along with podcasts that are about, between 15 and 40 minutes in length. They're pretty short usually. Where people from, actually specifically 2 interviewers from the society pages talk to different people about their research methodology, and it really gives some insight into the kind of different things that we're talking about, because obviously research methods itself can be kind of boring, right? By definition, right? It's learning about the method itself. So these conversations are very interesting and specific, and they give you pretty dynamic examples of how people can use these things in their actual lives. So that's what that is. So each time that's assigned as a reading, it also goes along with the podcast of that same chapter, which the link to them online will be posted on Titanium. So you're good for that. All right. So, course description. So basically, we're going to learn about qualitative and quantitative perspectives on social research. You guys are going to learn about design, the role of theory, sampling reflexivity, the practice of mixed methods, and really just analysis and writing of results of all these things you've collected. So you have to take in Soc 101. So if you haven't, that is a problem. But yeah, probably you have. It's a required class, so typically you have to meet certain thresholds to get here. So if you haven't taken intro, that's kind of a problem because you're coming at this at a disadvantage than other students. Okay, so when it comes to the SLOs for sociology, this is just basically to say that you take my course, you take someone else's course. These are the same standards we're going to have for the course, right? So that you will apply key sociological concepts. You will compare, contrast, and critique major theoretical and epistemological orientations in sociology, including functionalism, conflict theory, interactionism, feminist theory, and others. You will demonstrate critical thinking from various sociological perspectives, such as reflecting on your social location, evaluating the implicit assumptions of your everyday life, and challenging common sense understandings, and assessing the structure of an argument. You will show clear and effective written and oral communication skills, demonstrate knowledge of qualitative and quantitative research design and methods, and evaluate their appropriate use. You will use sociological knowledge and skills to engage with local and global communities for the purpose of social justice. You will demonstrate a critical understanding of power, privilege, and oppression across a range of cultures, human experiences, and the intersections of social location and historical experiences, including your own. Aww. Okay, so university learning goals, that's also another fun bureaucratic thing. So basically, all of these things hopefully you will accomplish throughout all of your courses in the university. Intellectual literacy, right? All that kind of fun stuff, getting different perspectives and interdisciplinary points of view. This is why I kind of included the Give Methods a Chance book, because you really get very different approaches from different kinds of people looking in different ways at different research. Critical thinking is one of the most important things ever. In this class, we're going to look at the various, benefits and limitations of different research methods. So that's very important, especially, the complexity of those kind of things. So yeah, all this fun stuff here, I'm going to do that. Okay. General education learning goals. This is just the idea that to meet the GE requirement, we have to kind of go through all of these steps, right? Which makes sense. The rigorousness of it, making sure that you're competent, all that kind of fun stuff. Self-awareness, yay, knowledge. Okay. All right. So when it comes to this actual class, so you have to respect each other. I mean, that's a baseline. It's sad that we have to say that nowadays, but that is life. So, you're going to be commenting on other people's course materials through the discussion boards. And I want people to be able to engage in discussions and have disagreements and things of that nature. They just have to be respectful and scholarly, right? No ad hominem attack kind of stuff. Like you have to actually, just engage in discussion in a relevant adult manner, which has now somehow become a challenge in our politics, but not so much in academia. We're still holding people accountable to that. All right. When it comes to makeup and late assignments, no. Yeah, no, I don't play that. Only because, wow, it's hard. A little fun fact about me, I'm an adjunct professor, which means I'm part-time-ish, but really that just means that I work a lot because I have multiple classes at multiple campuses. So as a result, it's very difficult for me to arrange a schedule in order to do this kind of makeup stuff for people. It's pain. Also, it's really not fair to the people who are diligently doing their work, right? It's not fair that other people are getting points when they did their work on time, right? So something that I want to point out at the very beginning is that I do not accept assignments in email, even if they're emailed before the submission deadline. If there's something you're like, hey, can you look at this before it's due? Like, sure, that's fine, and I'll send you back the whatever. But, if you're just sending me the assignment, instead of, submitting it the way that you're supposed to, all the assignments, which I'll discuss in a minute, should be submitted through the portal on Titanium. So there's like links for that stuff. The reason for that is that there's no confusion. There's no way that I miss the email or delete the email or lose your assignment. It's uploaded through the portal, plus it's connected to the gradebook. So as soon as I grade it, you get to see what your grade is, right? So it's like a win-win. So anyway, I don't accept them through email, even if you send it before it's due. I don't take them late because it's just, nope. Anyway, all right. Enrollments and drops. If you're like, oh, I already hate this, I hate her, this is terrible, then drop, right? But the idea is, especially in online courses, it's difficult to monitor participation in the same kind of way as you would in attendance to class. So, you can't just assume that because you're inactive, I will drop you, right? If you want to drop, you should do it. And you should really be smart about it because of all the money involved, and do it before the W deadline so you get your money back, right? Anyway, do that. So yeah, basically that's kind of my thing there of saying that's on you. Okay. Conduct, etiquette, and technology. So obviously there's certain, expectations that the whole university has, right? Like following their procedures, acting professionally, respecting other people's experiences and opinions. So in a sociology class, we're talking about stuff that can be more controversial, right? And everyone is bringing their own experiential knowledge to the classroom. So when we actually are respectful in our dialogue, we can really learn from each other instead of kind of building up that tribalism wall of like us versus them or things like that. Just really trying to step into the understanding and perspective of someone else and saying, I wonder why they do think that, right? And trying to understand more so than to explain, right? All right, emailing the instructor. Okay, so if you have any question that can't be answered by the syllabus, it's this thing I like to emphasize. There's this thing called the syllabus that we're talking about right now, whole bunch of pages of stuff. And it answers like a lot of the questions you might have. So like, I spend like way too much time constructing with them. So it'd be really cool if you could just like look at that first, right? If you just start sending me emails about stuff that's clearly on the syllabus, like when is this due, or things that are like clearly listed on Titanium or the syllabus, I might not respond because again, multiple classes, multiple campuses, life's a little busy. It's very difficult to kind of go through and comb through the stuff that is very accessible and very, there for students, right? So what I ask is that because I get so many administrative emails through all of the schools that I work at, I ask that you put a specific kind of format to your email so that I see them, and so that later on, if I need to search through my email, I can find your email, right? So course number, class time, your name, and that's enough really. But if you have a specific issue that you want to be addressed, right, that way I know, again, it's easier for me to search, but I will see this format when I'm scanning through my email, and I will know that that is something I should, not delete, right? Also, if you're able to come to on-campus office hours, if you have questions that's more than an email, that you really want to talk about stuff, or you're having trouble with something, feel free to come to my physical office hours, right? Tuesdays 4 to 6, College Park. But also for your class, there's a specific Zoom link for office hours that'll be Thursday 4 to 5 p.m. So come to that too. If you have some questions, concerns, we can talk about stuff. Yeah, let's see what else. Academic dishonesty, don't do it. I also teach writing, so I tend to kind of notice when people are BSing or, plagiarizing, or just really, sometimes people don't realize that lazy citations is plagiarism, right? Or that you can plagiarize yourself. A lot of students don't know that. It's a fun fact. So if you've done research and you're like, I'm just going to recycle the same paper for this other class. That's plagiarism. So anyway, don't do that stuff. It's stupid. You could get kicked out of school. Just not worth it. If you have any sort of disability, let me know so I can make any sort of arrangements for you. There's a list of emergency info, which kind of doesn't affect you as much if you're not on campus, but whatever, that's some stuff. Okay, this will affect you. If you have any technical difficulties with online access, this can be a thing, right? Sometimes it's your internet, sometimes it's the portal, right? Portal has some stuff sometimes. But here's all the info to the IT help desk so that, if you're having any trouble, this is like the number you can call, the email address, blah, 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 so that, someone will help you figure out what is going on with all that. Okay, let's see. Because some of those things are beyond my, people email me like, hey, I'm not able to do this. It's like, well, that sucks, but there's not much usually I can do on my end about it because I have very little control. I just have the ability to like post certain things or stuff like that. So if you're having any real technical issues, you have to go through them. Alrighty. Okay, so when it comes to actual stuff in the class, the first thing is going to be the weekly research practice short assignments. So these things are pretty easy, short assignments that for 14 weeks, you'll have one a week. So basically, there's like, some of them will be individual activity things, quick summaries, quick write-ups, method analysis assignments where you're gonna, like, let's say, look at an article and determine what the research question is, or things like that, or, there's various different activities as we go on, but they're pretty short, they're pretty quick to do. So, I have them all put in the calendar section for you, when they're due, all that stuff. And it's basically going to prepare you for the different stuff that you're going to be going through in each step of the research goals in the class. Okay. So the participation, since we don't have an in-person meeting, is the interaction through the discussion board on Titanium. So basically, we have those weekly research practice short assignments, and you're going to post those completed assignments to this discussion board. Usually there's going to be some specific question prompted, like what you should post about. So you're not just like, what do I post? There will be instructions, you'll see. But anyway, you basically post your completed assignment there, and then every there are at least 12 different times you'll have an option to comment on someone else's, and you get points for that. right? So again, these follow-up questions to the weekly research practice short assignments are worth 5 points each, totaling 60 points possible towards your overall grade. So there's 14 weekly writing assignments, but there's only 12 follow-ups. So 2 of the times you just turn in an assignment, you don't actually have to like go on a discussion board or do any of that. And it's not like every week of the class, as at the end you're working on some stuff, so I don't have any of that stuff during then. Alrighty, let's see. Instructions and dates and all that stuff will be visible on Titanium. Okay, exams. So in this class, there's going to be 2 exams, each with 45 multiple choice or true-false questions, as well as 1 short answer essay question. So each exam is worth a potential 50 points, right? You get 5 points for the short answer, 45, like each, 1 point for all those other ones. So a study guide detailing what's on the exam will be posted on Titanium. And I like to do an audio lecture about the study guide where I go through like, this is what I mean by this and blah, 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 just to give you a pretty clear indication of what's expected on that exam. So that will help you with your studying. I'll have a study guide and the audio guide for that. The dates of the exams are listed in the calendar section. They're not cumulative, right? Because I'm not a jerk, but they're going to review the portion of the class that they come after, right? So the midterm will just basically go over everything up into the midterm, and the final will review everything from the midterm on, right? Okay, so these exams, the deadline for them, they're going to close on midnight of the date listed in the calendar of the thing, right? And if you're thinking, oh my God, she opens it up that morning and I have to have it done by midnight, no, I will open it up about a week early before it's due, right, to help accommodate your schedule. Because I know not everyone has, like, let's say it's on a Sunday or something. Not everyone has a Sunday, right, to do that. So it'll just be open for a week, and that there's a time limit, but you'll be able to take it, whenever works for you. Okay, the research proposal paper. So for this class, you're going to compose a research proposal to prepare you to produce research. So the topic needs to be sociological in origin with a testable research question. And the paper will be submitted and graded in stages. So remember, all of this has assignment sheets on Titanium that I'll go over as well in audio file. So first, students will submit an outline and research question assignment. This will be followed by the full research paper proposal, which needs to include an introduction, a lit review, a method section, a conclusion/future research section. And lastly, to complete the proposal, students need to pass the IRB quiz for, Cal State Fullerton. So detailed instructions on expectations for both of these stages will be reviewed in an audio file and will be on Titanium as assignment sheets. Potential points, 20 for outline and research questions and 50 for the proposal itself, 10 points of which I believe come from the IRB thing. Okay. Survey construction assignment. So students will learn not only how surveys work, but have an opportunity to construct them. So being able to construct a survey is a great tool in practicing research. So you're going to pick a topic and construct a valid and accurate survey tool that you're going to administer to other students in order to interpret the results. You're then going to write a report on the results, and again, detailed instructions will be on I'll review them in an audio thing, and the assignment sheet with the grading rubric will be on Titanium as well. Okay, so research poster presentation. Okay, so basically you're doing all this research, right? You're doing the proposal and all that stuff. You have the tool, you write up the results. Basically, the poster is just like a mini version of what you researched and what you found, right? So it's going to include your lit review, your methods, your conclusion, where future research is needed. But again, detailed instructions and a sample will be posted on Titanium as well. All right, so here I have a breakdown of your grade based on points for each assignment, so you can kind of see how that's laid out. When it comes to the grading scale, grades are based on points earned, right? There's no rounding of grades in this course or really in life at all. Like, I've never known of a class that does that ever, but anyway. So basically keep track of your score. You'll have access through Titanium. This is your point breakdown right here. As far as performance criteria for the grading, Simply turning in an assignment is not an automatic A, right? Meeting standards represents a C grade. So I provided this grading rubric for a lot of the assignments in the class, so you're going to understand what's required. I'm going to give these audio explanations of the assignments so that you know what I'm expecting from you, so that you'll have a really good chance of getting the best grade possible, right? So this is kind of a breakdown of what's expected to receive what. Alrighty, and then the course calendar itself, it lays out the expected reading schedule as well as the due dates for assignments. So even if I'm sick or anything, gets kind of changed around, you're still expected to have read these things, right? So the way it breaks down is, here you have the readings like the chapter, the book, the title of that chapter, what assignment is happening that week, right? Your real quick weekly research one, which hint, I think is going to be a syllabus quiz, but whatever. Right, that one is due by the 28th. And what you're expected to read would be chapter 1 of the textbook Process of Social Research, the syllabus, and chapter 1 of Give Methods a Chance, which is like maybe 4 pages, right? But it goes along with a podcast, right? That's what it says, and podcast here, because with each one of the Give Methods a Chance, there's a short podcast that goes along with it. So I would suggest put on the podcast and while you're reading the chapter, 2 birds, but kind of if you want to condense the time it takes to read them. I mean, the time it takes to read the chapter is like, I don't know how long it takes to read 4 pages, but like hopefully not long. All right. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown here. You have like when major assignments are due. Again, before they're due, the assignment sheet will be posted. I'll have an audio of that, all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, you have the breakdown of like chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 2 of Give Methods a Chance. Yeah, all this kind of stuff. And basically, yeah, each time you have like which chapter, the title, all that fun stuff, the midterm, right here, right? Like I said, I'll have a study guide, all that kind of stuff broken down. The proposal itself is due after the break. The survey, the results of that proposal, right? And then the presentation that kind of brings it all together is near at the end with that, it's basically a Google Doc that you're going to make, a Google slide that you're going to make. And then the final itself, which will just be open for that week for you to take at your own leisure. And so, yeah, and I can change stuff if I want to change stuff, but hopefully I don't want to change anything. So this is pretty much it. Hopefully, this made a lot of sense. And I will be available this Thursday through the link on Zoom if you have any specific questions, or feel free to email me with the contact information at the top of the syllabus.